Alright, new Narbera unit just came out with the Overlord collab rerun. Let's go in. Let's showcase her. So we're gonna be using a few different teams here because unknowns just have a plethora of units. I have the wrong links. I'm gonna have to be upfront here. I have already recorded this video and I wasn't very happy with my commentary during it, so I'm re-recording it. The reason for that is I was under the impression the unit worked a certain way, but she didn't. As we go in, I'll explain. Narara is a very simple character. Demiurge, if you watch his showcase, you might have noticed it took me 10 minutes to go through his passive. He was a much more complicated unit, doing a lot more things. Narara is quite simple, really. At the start of the battle, she applies a gray debuff on all enemies called Electrical Wave. And this only lasts for 2 turns, so if you go second, you actually only last 1 turn, which is kind of annoying. So you kind of want to go first with her, I feel like. In any case, you apply this, and if an ally attacks an enemy, in just any case, you apply a shock. That's really all it does, it applies shock. We can't target him, right? I'm gonna try, but we can't target him, right? No, because we have mind control. Let's see. What happens if I try to target Demiurge? It just goes to a random enemy. Okay. So, it applies a shock debuff. And that shock debuff is just a regular shock debuff. There's not much special about it. Except, allies that attack enemies with shock do 20% more damage. That's kind of it. For every unknown participating in battle, unknown ally, everyone gets 10% attack. So, 3v3, you're getting a 30% attack buff. I feel like this character was made for 4v4 PvP, and that will become more apparent as we go through. Okay. How much damage do we need here for Tor? Okay. We'll do this. I don't think she's doing 100k here. Yeah. I was hoping she would, that's why I still went through with it, but I was hoping she would. Whatever. Melee will stun himself, so it's fine. When she uses an AOE, she applies shock. So, the thing about this, right? She has an AOE, which the AOE is Pierce. It is incredibly deceptive how her passive is written, and this is why I'm actually recording the video. So, if the enemy has the gray initial debuff, her AoE doesn't do anything. She does not apply shock. She only applies shock if the enemies don't have that debuff. So now she's gonna apply shock, and it's a red shock. It's just a regular shock. There's nothing really special about it. It's just shock, right? You can see right here, she got shocked, but Demiurge did not. Because he already had the gray shock. So you cannot stack both shocks, which is very stupid because her holy relic is that for each shock on the enemies, you get 3% basic stats. But you can only have 3, and you max at 12%. So to max out her holy relic, you need 4 shocks, which is only possible in 4v4 PvP. Dude, Demiurge is like impossible to face. Oh my god, what is this? You do like no damage. This is my first time facing one. Obviously we're taunted. We still have the hammer, so maybe we just... We don't have mind control anymore. Tor might carry. Never mind. The damage reduction is insane. Jesus. So that's all she does. That's it. She applies shock. She gives attack to allies. She gives some basic stats, up to 9. 9% basic stats. 12 if you're playing 4v4. And then Allies do 20% more damage when attacking a shocked enemy. That's it. So you compare her to Demiurge and she looks like a baby. Like, like actually, like she is like a 2020 unit. Like in comparison. She's not really a 2020 unit, I'm just exaggerating, but she's definitely not on the level of the other character, which is sort of what we saw with the Shield Hero collab, where we had Vittoria, which was insane. Oh, we have Immortality. That's so clutch. That's so clutch. And then Glass was like, good, but not on the level of Vittoria. I feel like it's sort of the same thing we're seeing right here. I think NARBERAL, I'm just gonna keep Narara, is good, but having just played with Demiurge, it's like, it's incomparable. It's like Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby. Straight up. Okay, well, I don't care to finish this. So the team that everyone wanted to see for her was, you know, her with Tor, because she gives attack to Tor. But I saw another team from Botsi Sensei, and he used Hell, and it honestly looked quite a bit better. I'm gonna be honest, this team is unlikely to go first against any real players, so I'm gonna use Dodge. It's like the most realistic way, because Narara doesn't have the most CC, and Hell doesn't have the most CC anymore, because she's not a UR festival. This seems to be a pretty good team, because I'm guessing with the attack buffs, you're still going to be doing good damage with Sabnak and stuff, so we'll see. Okay, facing a Vittoria. So, in my initial video recording, I'm not gonna lie, I was extremely shocked at how poorly she was performing. And a part of why is the single target is a little deceptive. I thought it was going to be a lot better because I thought you're going to be stacking shock on the enemies. But no, you can only apply one shock at a time. So what ends up happening is, realistically, right here, right? So you can only do one stack. That was pretty good. Level 2 does decent damage. Level 1 not so much. You can only do one stack of that 25% attack related stat. So her single target is for each shock on or shock effect. So the gray is called shock effect, and the red, which we'll see probably in this match, is called regular. It's just shock. It's just regular shock, right? So I thought because there were different named debuffs, they would stack, that you'd be able to apply both at the same time, which is unfortunate that you can't. I don't know if it's... I genuinely think it's a bug, because they're completely different named debuffs, but you can't apply both at the same time. Let's do this. I think we kill Vittoria. Does Hell kill? I think Hell kills. I don't... No! No! You're kidding! I want to see damage from our bear. It's gonna kill both, I don't care, but like... yeah, you can stack both. So her single target, for each shock or shock effect, you get 25% attack related stats. You can only have one, so at most you're getting 25. If you could stack two, 50%, that's like DK melee attack buff, right? So I was like, that's gonna be pretty good. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Her relic, did I mention the relic? I think I did. Per shock or shock effect, which again is the same thing, it's just shock. On the enemies, you get 3% basic stats up to 12, and like I said, you can stack both. So we're going to do the AoE. Can I actually stack two shocks? Let me see. We'll do two of them. One red shock. Oh, she's gonna die, isn't she? She did die. Okay. I don't think she's terrible. But I don't think she's crazy either. She's definitely not the... Like, if you And I just saw someone saying this, right? If you don't want to run demons, right? You don't want to run demons. Demiurge is a demon character. Even though he has the unknown description, he's a demon character. If you don't want to run demons, and you're summoning thinking, oh, you know, Narbera is going to be a good unit for unknowns, I don't know, man. She's alright. Like, she's alright. She's not terrible. She's alright. That's the unit that... Essentially, all she does is... She gives attack. Like, 30% attack, which is just a number. It's decent. Right? It's not terrible. For sure. She gives 20% damage. And that's it. Like, she gives attack and 20% damage. That's all she does. That is it. Because applying shock... It's just shock. Do you know the debuff shock? It's just shock. It's not anything special. Shock doesn't do anything. It's just 40% damage, 45% of damage dealt. Most of the time it's going to be very minimal damage. It's just terrible damage. So it's nothing. It's nothing. That's the extent of what she does. Like, you compare that to Demiurge and just the number of things that he does, and it's like, man, there is some clear favoritism here. It's crazy, the difference between the two characters. It was like, even with Shield Hero, you know, there was a better unit. Vittoria was better, undoubtedly so, but it still felt like Glass had her own footing. I just feel like this unit is getting shafted. Assault melee, huh? Okay. I'm gonna do this right here. I don't want to get that many melee debuffs on me, but... It's like Demiurge, right? You look at him, and he gives the whole team 60% damage reduction, essentially. Right? 40% damage. Plus the damage from all the Ignite stacks. Which turn 1 is 30%, so it's 70% damage turn 1. And he gives basic stats, 15% basic stats, which is essentially 15% extra attack. Like, you compare... Like, yeah, Narbera is giving 30% attack, Demiurge is giving 15. I mean, considering how much more damage he's giving and the damage reduction, it's like... Why? Oh, Narbera's gonna go crazy here, though. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. She's gonna go crazy here. Watch. All these stacks. Okay, I should have done the opposite, because then I would have removed damage reduction. But I was legitimately expecting a kill. I was expecting a kill, so that's my fault, I guess. I was expecting more damage. That's okay, though. Let's do this. Oh, that's the AOE. And then... we apply... Yeah, we apply regular shock on melee. That should kill. Nah. That should kill. And then... this should kill. I got 20% extra damage from the shock. Okay. I didn't put up a taunt because I was like, I'm not gonna need it. I guess I did need it. I put up a taunt first, just in case. And then... oh, first, let's put up the shock. Yeah. Just by doing the AoE, she applies shock, so... that will increase the damage we do. I think shock should have not just increased damage dealt by 20%, but also reduced the damage the enemies deal by 20%. I think I think that would have helped her out a lot. Because the reason why I'm not using Tor is I used Tor, right? I used Tor on my initial showing of her. I'm not gonna lie, I kept getting insta-wiped by Escanors. Like insta. Because my team just lacked on the defensive. Because if I use Sabnak, okay, I'm taunting, right? But then she gets demolished by Demiurge or melee. That's fine, right? But she's taunting, so she's protecting. And if I don't use Sabnak, I get one shot by level 1 single targets. Or I almost got one-shotted by a level 1 AoE. A level 1 AoE from Escanor almost one-shot both my Tor and Narbera at the same time, just a level 1 AoE from Escanor. So on the defensive, the team is not looking so great. I think Narbera could have been better. I think they could have given her more stuff. She's essentially just a 30% attack and 20% damage buff. That's all she does. All she does to the team. No basic stats, so no HP, right? HP could have been good. No damage reduction. No defense related. She could have given defense related stats. Not a big fan of this unit, but you know, maybe people find a good way of using her. I'm guessing she's meant to be used in 4v4 activities, so maybe she'll be good for Hero Arena. Maybe she'll be good for Guild Wars, which I don't play, so maybe she'll be good for that. For the 0.1% of players that play Guild Wars, hopefully she's good for you. But yeah. Still someone for Demiurge though. He's crazy.